I never thought I'd be the kind of woman who would look over her shoulder every time she leaves the house. But that's exactly who I became. I know what you're thinking. How does something like that even happen? Well, buckle in, because this isn't some cheesy teen drama. This is real life, my life, and I'm finally telling it. So here's the deal. Today I'm going to tell you how the guy I loved slowly turned my life into a prison I didn't even realize I was sitting in. I'll walk you through how everything started out perfect, beautiful, even then, turned into jealousy, control, lies, and one night that made me pack my things and never look back. And I'll be honest, after everything that happened, trusting people again feels impossible. If you've ever been with someone who made you feel guilty just for breathing, then listen close, because maybe my story is your story too. When we first met, he was the sweetest guy in the world. You know the type, attentive, charming, messaging me good night, good morning, asking how my day was, the whole romantic starter pack. And for more than a year, everything was good, like actually good. We laughed, we went out, nothing weird, no red flags waving in the wind. If you had asked me back then how I felt, I would have told you I got lucky. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Not suddenly, oh no. That would have been easy to spot. It was slow, soft. The way fog rolls in at night, and you don't even realize it's swallowed your entire house until you can't see your own hand in front of your face. The first sign? Questions. Continuous, harmless-seeming questions. Where are you going? How long will you be gone? Who's going to be there? When will you be home? At first, I didn't even think twice. I thought, wow, he cares. And I answered, all the time, every time. But then the questions became demands. Demands turned into suspicion, and suspicion turned into stress I carried in my chest like a brick. Suddenly, I couldn't leave the house without reporting back like I was clocking in for a shift. God forbid I took too long to reply, then I'd get the guilt trip. So you're too busy for me now? Who are you really with? There was no winning. If I answered quickly, oh, I must have been waiting by the phone for another guy. If I answered late, clearly I was hiding something. He found a way to make every road lead to the same town called You're the Problem. That's when the knot in my stomach became permanent. I'd get ready to go meet a friend, and before I even stepped outside, I'd hear, why do you need to go out? Why can't you stay here? Imagine feeling like a criminal just for wanting fresh air. I tried everything, talking calmly, explaining, reassuring, even blaming myself, thinking maybe I was doing something wrong. Maybe I just wasn't seeing it from his point of view. But nothing changed. If anything, it only got worse. He was jealous of everything, my friends, my co-workers, my own phone for existing. I couldn't even walk to the store without him acting like I was cheating with the cashier. Then one day, after another pointless argument over absolutely nothing, I realized something terrifying. I was afraid of my own boyfriend. So I made a choice, a hard one. I told him I needed space. I told him I couldn't live like that anymore. I told him I was leaving. He did not take it well. He begged. He cried. He promised everything would be different, but I'd heard that song too many times, and I wasn't dancing to it anymore. So I packed my bags and moved in with my mum. It felt like I could finally breathe, and for about a week, I thought I got out clean, but then the calls started. 5 times a day, then 8, then 12, missed calls, voicemails, long text messages about how he couldn't live without me, how he needed to see me, how no one could love me like he did. You know, romantic in that horror movie kind of way. I ignored him. I really did. But I'm not bulletproof. Eventually, the constant pressure, the begging, the guilt, the emotional artillery, yeah, it got to me, and I went back. Because we want to believe that people can change. We want to believe that love is enough. We want to believe that maybe the problem is fixable. And for a while, it felt like maybe it was. He tried. He controlled himself. I saw glimpses of the guy I fell for, and I let myself hope. But you know what's funny about bad patterns? If someone doesn't fix what caused them, they always come back. About a month later, it was the same movie playing on repeat. Suspicion, accusations, anger, emotional whiplash, I kept trying to talk it out, to stay calm, to make sense of something that didn't have any sense left in it. Then came the night. Everything changed. He came home drunk, and not a little tipsy and sentimental. And no, he came home wrecked. The kind of drunk where logic no longer exists, and truth spills out like a broken bottle. He stood there, looking at me like I was something he scraped off his shoe and said, "Where were you tonight, you little bitch?" Those words felt like acid on my skin. My heart was pounding, but I kept my voice steady. I told him I was with friends. He had even driven me there. But drunk men don't do logic. They do volume. He starts throwing accusations like darts at a wall. "You're lying. You think I'm stupid. You're all the same." And I'm standing there thinking, who is all? What does that even mean? So I ask him, who is all? What are you talking about? And then he says a name I've never heard in my life. Amelia. I blink. Who the hell is Amelia? He looks at me like I should already know and says, "My girlfriend." My brain froze. I swear the world just stopped. The kind of silence that has weight. The kind that makes you aware of your own pulse. I stared at him, waiting for him to laugh, to say he meant something else, to backtrack, to sober up magically. But he didn't. No, he kept talking, like confessing a crime he didn't realize he was confessing. He told me how he had been seeing her for years, not months, years. How he wanted kids with her, how she betrayed him, how he still wasn't over it. And I'm standing there, listening to the man I lived with tell me by accident that I was basically the emotional rebound for his pretty little heartbreak therapy plan. In that moment, every jealous accusation, every controlling comment, every paranoid fight, finally made sense. He wasn't mad at me. He was punishing me for what she did. He just forgot to tell me I was part of the emotional revenge tour. So I did the only thing a sane person could do. I packed my things, quietly, calmly, no dramatic speech, no screaming, no crying. When the truth hits you that hard, it knocks the tears out of you. I walked out that door and never looked back. Didn't answer his calls, didn't text, didn't wait for closure. He gave me closure when he said her name. And here's the part I didn't expect, even after leaving, even after time passed, even when I knew I made the right decision. I couldn't shake the damage. I couldn't trust. I couldn't relax. I kept waiting for the next person to rip the floor out from under me. Because when you've been with someone who constantly suspects you, you start suspecting everyone else too. It's like being bitten by a dog. Even friendly dogs make you flinch for a while. And I look around at other people trusting, falling in love, opening their hearts like it's nothing. And I genuinely don't know how they do it. How do people just believe someone's words at face value? How do they sleep at night without checking their phone, expecting a fight? How do they not wait for the betrayal? Because once you've lived like that, your brain doesn't just go back to factory settings. But here's what I realized. Not everyone is that guy. Not everyone makes their trauma someone else's cage. Not everyone destroys the people they date, because they never healed from the last one. There are kind people, patient people, people who don't use love like handcuffs. I just haven't met one yet. But I'm not broken, just rebuilding. And if you've ever been with someone who made you doubt yourself, who controlled you, who blamed you for sins you never committed, listen to me. You did not deserve that. You were not crazy. And leaving wasn't weakness, it was survival. Because love without freedom isn't love. It's a sentence. So yeah, that's how I walked into a relationship, as a whole person, and walked out, learning how to stitch myself back together. I don't tell this story for drama or pity. I tell it because someone somewhere needs to hear they're not alone, and that walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself for the first time in a long time, and I'm finally learning how to do that.